Nigeria, good morning. The conversations are eating up and we are right at the center of them. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako and this is Daybreak Live, where politics meets accountability and every headline is held up to the light.
And I am Samson Balogo. This morning we begin with a statement sharing both controversy and curiosity. Peter Obi says the creativity of Yahoo boys can drive national development if properly guided. It's bold, it's uncomfortable, but it opens a deeper conversation. When the system fails to create opportunities, do young people create their own, even if illegally? That's a question.
Definitely. This is a call for innovation, reforms, or a dangerous validation of fraud culture. This is where governance, ethics, and desperation collide.
All right, shortly, Daybreak News brings you the top topical and economic stories shaping Nigeria, from government decisions to citizens' realities.
Definitely. And this morning as well, we'll go through the front pages, the headlines, not just reading the news, but breaking down the interest behind them, the silence beneath them, and the implications ahead. All
right, and today's big story raises a critical national question. New states, same questions. Will a Southeast state fix the divide? That's a question. Is state creation a path to justice or another political pacifier?
Joining us is Honorable Mbola Daolai, public affairs analyst and APS stalwart, from regional equity to constitutional politics. You help us unpack what's real, what's rhetoric, and what's next.
All right, we'll wrap things up this morning with Trend Watch, where public opinion, sarcasm, and outrage and hope all collide in one timeline.
This is Daybreak Live, where we don't just report the news, we challenge it.
Yes, let's get started. Good morning to you.
Are we ready to challenge this morning?
All right, there's a lot to talk about this morning. But then first of all, Yemi, good morning to you.
Good morning. Happy New Week.
Happy New Week. Yeah. You look new. Let me put it
you.
that way. But then, you know, Peter Obi came out and said, look, Yahoo boys, the creativity they can bring to the table is way too immense to be wasted. So let's bring them to the table and see how we can unpack what they have in them and then make them work positively. I mean, that's quite something you would call out of the blue.
Definitely. I actually did not expect that, but I think this is not the first time that someone, that important or a politician will come out to say, okay, Yahoo boys are actually not so bad. We can integrate them into certain sectors to make sure that they do well. I recall that there was a time that the current president of this country, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I just saw the video recently, and he said Yahoo boys, should be allowed to exhibit their expertise in manufacturing. And then it caused a lot of reactions in the country back then. There's even a video to that. So it's an issue. And then this coming out from Peter Obi, I think if care is not taken, a lot of persons will misconstrue statement. Probably it means well. I mean, to say that, okay, because let's not lie to each other. It takes some level of intelligence to do what these guys actually do. But then we must be careful in as much as we want to make sure that, okay, they are not so bad. But then I think, the victims of Yahoo boys, a lot of them, are died due to the fact that they don't know how to start their lives again. A lot of persons, it's so difficult for them to come up again as individuals. So it's a problem. So we are not saying what they are doing is actually good. Maybe I don't know, the way he said it, it was very easy for a lot of persons to say that, okay, this is suggestive of the fact that he's, handing out his hand of support to Yahoo boys, which I don't think is what he wanted to do. So at the end of the day, we are not trying to, I just hope he can clarify some certain things after this to say, I'm not trying to encourage Yahoo boys. I'm just saying that, okay, these persons, they have good brains that we actually need, because this is one of the problems that we are facing in the country. A lot of persons who are supposed to be, benefits to the country in terms of technology, a lot of them have left. Look at what the doctors are doing. So if you have like brilliant minds who are so young, I think it's a good one. And don't forget that he has a a strong impression on the youth. I think majority of those that voted for Peter Obi in 2023 are majorly youth, universities, even the young ones out of school. So I think he should clarify. I mean, to say that, okay, this is not what I mean. I'm trying to say that they have the brains, but then at the end of the day, we can find a way to make sure that it stops. But is it going to be easy to integrate Yahoo boys into some certain sector? People that are making
that's where I want to come
huge amount of money. Honestly,
the truth is, you see, you mentioned that majority of those who voted for Peter Obi in the last election, they are mostly youths.
Yeah.
And if you look at the population of who we call Yahoo boys, fraudsters in the country these days, they are actually youths. Just a few of them, less than 1% of them will be adults. So if you know, you go by what is currently on the table, you realize the fact that Peter Obi knows exactly what he's doing. You know, he has always known how to, you know, bring people together, especially people. You see, he knows how to put Nigerians on the divide. He knows the larger population are the youth and knows how to bring them on board. So he's already preparing for the election. That is what I think about this. Now, I, for one, would not entrust, you know, my pot of soup where I put my meat with a cat. I mean, nobody would want to do that. So if you are bringing people who know the art of fraud, and then you are bringing them to the mainstream tech industry, I mean, you are creating a problem rather than solving a problem. So it's going to be really difficult. Say, for example, you have a business, you need a tech expert, and then they told you after you have recruited that, oh, this person used to be a Yahoo boy, used to be a fraudster. I mean, that says a lot about what that kind of person can bring on board. Now, I will cite an experience. There is a guy who is into cybersecurity also, a former Yahoo boy as we call it. So he got some money and then trained himself in cybersecurity. Now, he worked with a firm and then got access to every of their software, back end, front end, had access to everything. And the moment he was told to go, he started frustrating them until he got some money out of them. So he held them ransom until he got money out. So people like that will always be, see, there is little you can do to change people. Right? So whatever it is they have been, we'll always tell, whichever capacity you put them. So it's going to be really difficult to put these people in mainstream tech industry. Yes, some of them have found their way into that system, but it will be very difficult to separate who are the good ones and who are the bad ones. And don't forget, the bad ones will always find their way into the system.
It's very sad. And one more thing that I saw online, maybe supporters of Peter Obi, one person tweeted and said, if bandits and terrorists can, you know, be integrated into the army after maybe some level of, maybe cancelling them or something like that, you know, why can't Yahoo boys, you know, be allowed to function in the
That's another mistake we are making.
I think we cannot correct a wrong.
That's what I wanted to say. You cannot right a wrong with another wrong.
This is one thing that we are still trying to stop, to say that these people stop integrating them into the army. They are causing a lot of harm than good. And then one more thing is the fact that, don't forget, even some of these Yahoo boys, the way you know, some foreign countries see us because of what some of these guys, you know, have done is sad. So we are trying to make sure that the image of this country, you know, is refurbished in a sort, not to add to more injury, not to make us look bad again. So if at all, if anything like that could be happened, I don't think it should be done that way. Let's not even talk about it, because whether if care is not taken, there are some persons who will see this as an encouragement to say,
that's an opportunity.
A presidential candidate, former presidential candidate, if you can say this, I mean, that means we are not so bad. We are looking for people that can help us, you know, talk to these people to say, okay, even no matter how strange the economy is now, no matter how dangly it is, there are people who are still making money legally. No, those are the kind of conversations that we want to hear, not their geniuses.
You see, there is no justification for any form of bad habit or character one has, or a trait that is in one. And you know, it's really sad that you have seen people justifying, you know, situations like that. I've seen people saying, look, these people are taking back whatever it is the whites owe our grandfathers or great-grandfathers. I mean, I laugh when I listen to such conversation, because no matter how hard you want to try, you cannot paint what is bad as good. I mean, people always see beyond what you are saying. And the truth is, what people see when they mention the country Nigeria these days is really not encouraging. So for people who earn money legally, when you get out there, people always say things about, oh, Nigeria, those are fraudsters. I have encountered people who actually thought every Nigerian knows how to do internet fraud. I have encountered people who actually believe that Nigerians are fraudsters. So it's really sad that people are seeing us that way. So how do we, go from being seen as fraudsters, as people who are actually too engrossed with internet fraud, to people who will be seen as industrious, people who will be seen as tech-driven, is not far-fetched. Now, it is not necessary that you should integrate Yahoo boys into the tech world. What you can do is to create a friendly environment where young Nigerians can actually venture into tech and they will become good and then they will be useful to the nation. So there should be a total clampdown on internet fraud in the country. Now, when they realize that there's no space for them, I think some of them will have to look for something else to do. And of course, definitely some of them will look into tech. And then when they do, they already have the mindset that there's no room for fraud in the country. And then they can always straighten their ways and do something good with their lives.
Yeah, I think you're very spot on. The aspiring, maybe Yahoo boys now. They
should not see this as an excuse. You see,
at all.
Sometimes some statements can be reckless and can sound like an endorsement in one way or the other.
Yes.
I mean, so if you make a statement, you have to clarify. There is a usual saying in Yoruba that says, if you are not clear enough, yeah, you might say, oh, a calabash is heavier than what we will call glassware. So if you have to be clear.
Even when you are clear, some people will still misconstrue your words.
They will misconstrue and they will turn it to suit them. That's the problem we have always faced as Africans. There is a clear truth that everyone should understand, but someone somewhere will turn that and make other people believe that lie. And when we continue to do that, we have a nation that we currently have now. And until we change the habit, this is what we'll continue to see.
It's very sad. And I saw a tweet from, Wike's head, Larry Olainka. He said, how many youths as Peter Obi, he called him Mr. One Shoe. There was a time when he was campaigning, he said he has one shoe. Alias Agbotikuyo. Yeah. He said, how many youths has he employed in the bank that he has? And it's a big question. I do not know about that, the level of, or the number of persons he has, actually maybe recruited. But then I think he needs to clarify. It's a sad situation. You need to see reactions online. People are saying, okay, this is wrong. While some persons are supporting, okay, that's it. Look at the way he's talking, and he's wrong. Do not. We don't want a situation whereby the level of crime will not go up, and at the end of the day, things will not work. I think it's necessary for him to clarify.
You are spot on. Some statements will drive up the level of crime in the country unknowingly. It might be harmless. You might just be saying things just like you feel.
Meanwhile,
but then before
honestly,
you utter some statement, especially when you're a national figure, someone people see as a role model, you have to be really careful about what statements you bring out there. Now, what he has said, he might not have the opportunity to explain. You see, that's the problem about information. Some people will get the first-hand information. They will not come back for whatever it is you have to say after that. Especially some people who actually read headlines and they don't go into details of what the news is about. So they walk away with that particular headline, and then some people will actually write sensational headlines just so you can come and read the body of the story. Definitely. At the moment you get the headline, you're already thinking, oh, this is what so-so person is talking about. But then lies in between the body of the story is the actual truth, which you have actually skipped and you are no longer interested in. Now, will people come back to get the receipt of whatever it is they have read, the headline they have read? I don't think so. So you have to be really careful about what you put out there, especially some online media houses that they are looking for clickbait. They want people to actually click on their story. They really have to be careful about headlines because it is really difficult. Just an headline can set a whole country on fire. Just an headline can make the people turn against can incite the people against the government.
And in some country, we've seen it happen.
We have seen it happen.
One statement from one broadcaster led to a serious problem. Honestly, just like you mentioned, I think when I saw, some newspaper outlet, put it this way, Yahoo boys are geniuses. They only need redirection. Some persons say, oh, they are so creative. We can actually use them in the tech world. So different headlines yesterday. At the end of the day, it depends on how you interpret it. And I think the attention span on social media these days is very short.
Very short.
You just want to know the summary.
And then
sometimes if you go through this comment section, when some people type long message, they say, please, when you are done reading, tell me.
Please, just summarize in the comment section.
I don't think I can read all of this thing. So it's a huge one. I think he has very strong impression on the youth. So it's very necessary for him to come out to clarify that.
He has to.
This is not what I mean. This is what I mean at the end of the day.
And, the problem that will eventually create will not lie on the shoulder of Peter Obi or any other person that has made such statements. It will eventually lie on the shoulders of the federal government and state governments too, because when crime rates go up, Of course, Peter Obi will not be there. He is not a governor anymore. He was once a governor, but now he is not in that capacity, meaning that state governors, including his home state, will have to bear the brunt of whatever it is he has caused. We should not continue to fan flames in the country, especially when it comes to crimes and, of course, issues that has to do with security. Imagine some people taking that as a compliment, as an endorsement, and then venturing into crime full-time. I mean, that would not really help the country.
At all. And the minds of the youth can be so fragile.
Absolutely.
Any simple thing, they can just switch.
They have moved.
They have switched to.
Well, let's leave it. Let's leave it. This will be the convenient point to actually leave this segment of the show this morning. So thank you for joining us. Link up with us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, formerly Twitter, at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website, www.dominion.org.ng. Do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast. Don't forget to leave your comment there. Now let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll take a weather report on this show. We'll be back.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
All right, welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television. Now it's time to take weather report, and we'll be starting with the ancient metropolitan city of hospitality, Ibadan, this morning, as weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius in Ibadan. It is currently fair in Ibadan this morning. Later in the morning, it will rise to 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy in Ibadan. It will also be partly cloudy in the afternoon at 32 degrees Celsius. Partly cloudy in the evening at 26 degrees Celsius and cloudy overnight in Ibadan today at 24 degrees Celsius.
All right, let's cross over to Ekiti West. Ekiti this morning, weather feels like 22 degrees Celsius, and later this morning is expected to be around 27 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 2%. In the afternoon, 31 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 5%. And in the evening, 24 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 8%. Overnight, 23 degrees Celsius, cloudy around 11%. That's what we have for Ekiti West this morning.
Today in Abeokuta, weather currently feels like 24 degrees Celsius. In Abeokuta, currently cloudy right there. Later in the morning, it will rise to 30 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy. There will be showers in the afternoon at 33 degrees Celsius. Mostly clear in the evening at 27 degrees Celsius and cloudy overnight at 25 degrees Celsius. So if you are in Abeokuta today, be ready for rainfall in the afternoon.
All right, let's cross over to Lagos State. Weather this morning feels like 31 degrees Celsius, and later this morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 14%. In the afternoon, 30 degrees Celsius, mostly sunny around 17%. And in the evening, 28 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 6%. Overnight, 27 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 16%. That's what we are for Lagos this morning.
Still in the southwestern part of the country, this morning we move straight to Osun, Osogbo in Osun State this morning, as weather currently feels like 23 degrees Celsius in Osogbo. And it will be partly cloudy later in the morning at 28 degrees Celsius, also partly cloudy at 33 degrees Celsius in the afternoon, partly cloudy in the evening at 25 degrees Celsius and cloudy overnight at 24 degrees Celsius in Osogbo today.
Well, let's cross over to Ilori East Kwara. Weather this morning feels like 23 degrees Celsius. Later this morning is expected to be around 29 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 1%. And in the afternoon, 35 degrees Celsius, sunny around 1%. In the evening, 28 degrees Celsius, clear around 3%. And overnight, 24 degrees Celsius, mostly cloudy around 8%. That's where we are for Ilori East Kwara this morning.
All right, so let me join Yemi in the north central this morning. I will move straight to Niger as weather currently feels like 22 degrees Celsius, fair in Niger State this morning. It will be mostly sunny later in the morning at 29 degrees Celsius, sunny in the afternoon at 34 degrees Celsius. It will be clear in the evening at 26 degrees Celsius, mostly clear overnight at 23 degrees Celsius in Niger, Suleja, especially this morning.
All right, let's drive down to Kano Municipal. Weather this morning feels like 19 degrees Celsius. Later this morning is expected to be around 31 degrees Celsius, sunny around 0%. In the afternoon, 35 degrees Celsius, sunny around 0% as well. Evening, 25 degrees Celsius, 0% as well, clear. And overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, clear around 0%. as well. That's what we have for Kano Municipal this morning.
Today in Kaduna, weather currently feels like 18 degrees Celsius, clear right there in Kaduna. And later in the morning and afternoon, it will be sunny at 28 degrees Celsius and 33 degrees Celsius respectively. It will be clear in the evening and overnight at 24 degrees Celsius and 21 degrees Celsius respectively in Kaduna today.
All right, let's cross over to Port Harcourt Rivers. Weather this morning feels like 21 degrees Celsius. Later in the morning is expected to be around 26 degrees Celsius. A few showers around 34%. In the afternoon, 27 degrees Celsius. Light rain around 62%. In the evening, 22 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy around 11%. And overnight, 21 degrees Celsius, a few showers around 33%. That's what we have for Port Harcourt Rivers this morning.
And that will be all on weather reports this morning. We say thank you for being a part of the show. We'll go on a short break now, and when we return, we'll take the news. We'll be back.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning. This is Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I'm Yemi Adelako. The Joint Committee of the Senate and House of Representatives on Constitution Review has approved the creation of an additional state in the Southeast Geopolitical Zone. According to a statement by the media unit of the committee, the resolution was reached at a two-day retreat in Lagos, where it reviewed 55 proposals for state creation across the country. The session, chaired by the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin, and co-chaired by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, resolved that in the spirit of fairness and equity, the federal government should create another state for the region. Kalu, who joined other lawmakers to champion additional state creation for the region, argued that a new state would give the people a sense of belonging. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has said that the Warri-Itape train service will resume operations on Wednesday, 29 October 2025. NRC's Chief Public Relations Officer, Callistus Oyimadu, disclosed this in a statement weeks after the corporation suspended train operations along that route. According to the agency, the temporary suspension became necessary to enable the corporation to carry out essential repairs, system checks, and maintenance on the tracks and rolling stock to enhance passenger safety and service reliability. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, has announced plans to begin an indefinite nationwide strike from November 1st, 2025. This was contained in a statement released by NAD President Mohammed Suleiman. The statement noted that the strike directive was issued after the expiration of a 30-day ultimatum earlier given to the federal government over unresolved demands. The decision was taken after a 5-hour meeting of the association's National Executive Council. The National Examinations Council, NECO, said it has established a new examination centre in London, United Kingdom, as part of its global expansion drive to provide credible assessment opportunities for Nigerians in the diaspora. Unveiling the centre during the Education Matters Conference, UK 2025, NECO's Registrar and Chief Executive, Professor Dantani Ibrahim Wushishi, said the initiative was developed in partnership with Banfield Education Limited. According to Wushishi, the London Centre would empower Nigerians abroad, promote national pride, and strengthen the global recognition of NECO certificates, which are already accepted by several UK universities, including Birmingham City University and Leeds Trinity University, as well as institutions in the United States, Canada, India, China, and Russia. The Lagos State government has announced that the long-awaited Opebi-Mende Link Bridge will be completed and commissioned before the end of the year. The Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Binga Omotosho, made this known during an interactive session with members of the Lagos State Correspondence Chapel at Alausa, Ikeja. According to him, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, remain fully committed to ensuring a timely completion of all major projects across the state. He noted that several other key projects are also nearing completion, including the new Mercy Children's Hospital, the Ojo General Hospital, and the state network of food hubs aimed at strengthening food security. And in business this morning, Dangote Refinery has announced that it is increasing its production from 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day. This was disclosed by the president of the Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, at a press conference in Lagos State. Dangote said the move reflects confidence in Nigeria's future and aligns with President Bola Tinubu's vision of making the country a global supplier of refined petroleum products. When completed, the expansion will make the facility the largest refinery in the world, surpassing the Jamnagar refinery in India. And in sports this morning, the knockout phase of the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup is set to kick off in Morocco, with Nigeria's Flamingos drawn against Italy in one of the standout round of 16 features. The match is scheduled for Tuesday, October 28 at the Stade Olympique de Rabat, with kick-off at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. The qualification follows an emphatic 4-0 victory over Samoa in Rabat on Saturday. The Flamingos will now aim to build on the impressive group stage campaign as they continue the push for a historic first world title. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and X as Dominion Cast. That's the break news. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako saying thank you for watching and good morning.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us. This is newspaper headlines and analysis. I'm Oluwayemi Adelako. And I'm not alone in the studio, soon enough I will introduce my analyst for this morning. Let's start from Daily Trust. I have this banner headline that says that farmers, federal government disagree over drop in food prices. I think it's a good one, for the nation, the citizens, because, just a few days ago, someone was saying to me that, am I aware that the price of gari has dropped, drastically? And I think is, one of the things that Nigerians are expecting to say that, okay, if the prices of food come down, then it's a huge relief. Apart from that, I do not know why the farmers and the federal government actually, having a kind of, we're not going to agree on this, on that. But I think for the benefits of the citizens, these two parties must come together to ensure that, okay, the prices will even go down, more, to ensure that people can be able to afford, the basic things in the market. Away from that, also have this headline that says, "I rent driving us out of Abuja." That's coming from the resident. I think a few days ago, I think on Friday, we spoke about how the Senate sat on the matter to see that, okay, how can we actually, reduce, this problem, because it has caused a lot of reactions. Some persons can no longer afford to pay their rent because, I mean, some landlords, just wake up one morning to say we want to increase, the fees, and it's a lot for a lot of persons. But I just think that it's not just about Abuja alone. Talk about Ibadan, talk about all of the state across the country, even Lagos, the rent fee is so high, and something must be done fast about it. Away from that headline, I also have this one that says, "Killings, Nigerian Muslims also victims." That's coming from Vatican Cardinal. It's an issue because now we have like international borders weighing in on this matter, especially the United States. It even caused an issue with Reno Mockery and a certain US man, talking about killing of the Christians, in the north, and not just the north. We've seen it in other places too. But then we can also chip in to say that, okay, Muslims are being killed too. Is one issue that we'll talk about this morning with my analyst. Away from that, I also have this headline that says, "Dangote refinery expands capacity to 1.4 million barrels per day." That's massive. And of course, I think if you can get to that point, if you can realize this, it will help us a lot. I wish him well on that. Let's cross over. Okay, let's check this headline that says, "National Assembly Committee propose 6 new states." A lot of persons are clamoring for new state, and they feel like it can help us, come together. It can unify us in a sense, because some persons are being marginalized. Okay, now, should we have the states, a new state? Will anything change? Is one of the things that we'll talk about this morning. Let's cross over to Nigerian Tribune. Have this headline that says, "Dangote refinery aims to be world's largest in 3 years. Plans to expand production from 650,000 to 1.4 million barrels per day to be listed on Nigerian Stock Exchange." We've talked about that. Away from that, I also have this one that says, "Lagos government violated court order, demolish 100 properties in Oworonshoki." That's coming from Falano. "Please deny attacking resident during demolition." I've seen videos online, especially yesterday. I saw a particular video where some persons had to get big bags to bring out their their goods from the shop, because they were about to demolish these properties. It's a sad one. But then what happened in a recent interview that he granted online on national TV, he said some of these people have been given notice in years. And a lot of them a few months ago, but then maybe they decided not to do anything about it. So who do we believe at this point in time? Because some persons are saying they were not told, but then the government is saying, okay, we informed them before now. Who do we believe at this point in time? It's a sad situation. I also have this headline that says, "NDLEA raids Lagos nightclub over drug party. Arrest over 100 suspects." And then I think celebrities, were also arrested. The likes of Pretty Maika, the likes of Toyo, was once on BB Niger. He came out to tweet, actually, and after that tweet, we heard reports that he was beaten at some point. This is so unlike, NDLEA. So I believe they must have gone there because they got an intel. They wouldn't do that without any information. We'll talk about that, very shortly. Away from that, I also have this one that says, "Resident doctors to begin indefinite strike November 1. After the 30-day ultimatum, they are saying, okay, we are going on a strike November 1. At this point, what should the federal government do? What should not, as an association do as well? Finally, for this morning, because of our time, P2P Convention, Southwest Leader Zone Secretary to Oyo, Adita Togun. I also have this headline that says, "Our state wastes billions on unviable airports. Only 3 out of 30 airports profitable." That's coming from FAN. "States can leverage aviation business to boost trade." That's coming from expert. To be very candid this morning, I think I've been to some airports whereby you begin to wonder, is this really an airport? Some of them look like a war zone, and you wonder what was the intention, to build this airport in the first place, when we know that we cannot actually take, good care of the airport. Allow me to turn to my analyst this morning. I'm talking about Timitope Ishola, historian and public affairs analyst. Welcome on board this morning.
Thank you very much for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, let's talk about this. I believe you must have seen videos online about the demolition in Oworonshoki and other parts of Lagos. This headline is saying Lagos government violated court's over demolish 100 properties in Oworonshoki. That's coming from Falana. But I also have a tweet here that I would love you to help me speak to this morning, talking about something, very important, because this man granted an interview recently to say that we informed these people. This is coming from Tokumbo Wahab, the Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources. He said, during the recent demolition exercise in Ikota, we targeted structures that encroach on the floodplain. This action followed a series of unsuccessful engagement with the building owners. In the Oworonshoki, defaulters have had years to comply. While in trade fairs, some are playing politics with the situation and have been shamelessly mischievous. But the people are saying, some of them are saying, we were not told. Yesterday, I saw a video where, just like I explained, they had to bring out their goods from the shop because, they were about to demolish, all of those shops. What do you make of this, really?
I think it's going to be easy to lay blames, but I would like to look at it based on the understanding I have about the processes of undergoing such demolitions. So now, in truth, government would have communicated to some individuals about the intentions to demolish. At the same time, because of the nature of government over the years where they propose plans, projects, and they don't even go ahead with it, they've also encouraged the culture where government comes out to say, oh, we want to demolish this structure, move away, and people don't take them serious because they feel in another 4 or 5 years, you would not do anything about it. So they always feel they could always ride on that emotion to say, okay, you know what, let's just keep staying here till government goes. But the question I would love to have asked to Mr. Wahab would be, what was the alternative to these individuals when you told them to move away? Because let's not forget, this set of individuals have probably lived all their life in that community. Some have grown, they don't even have understanding of any other place beyond that street or building that they find themselves. So the question that is necessary to ask is, what is the alternative? Same thing applies as they've demolished the property. Where do they expect those individuals to find solace within the short possible time?
Them.
Then questions around compensation also. Have they been compensated? Were they just told move? The landlords? So those are questions, and I think I saw some videos that were being shown, like in the ninth, about the demolition as well. I'm still trying to gather more information to be sure that it was just maybe a fraction of the demolition that took place at 9. But if in entirety the demolition took place in the 9th, it's also questionable too. Why not do it in the daytime when people have the opportunity to move as well? And regardless as well, I feel notifications should still be amplified in the hours leading to the demolition. Someone shouldn't be having a nap or sleeping and waking up and just seeing a tractor in front of the compound. And let's not even forget, there are also school of thoughts that presume that this land can be likened to a land grab, meaning some vested interests or individuals that need land just looked for a way to corner that area of that community for themselves. And the truth is, the states are in control of the judiciary in the state. They can manipulate a lot of stories, as it were. So I feel for those that have to move out of that place. So I think the only thing the government can do that would make sense is to find a way to either compensate them as quickly as possible and provide a means where they can at least have a place to stay, pending when they can now probably move out of that space and now go find their own bearing. And I think a serious government that is concerned about its citizens, regardless of their tribe, regardless of their political affiliation, should be concerned that some sections of its citizens will be made homeless by that decision they've taken. So I expect that they should look for proper plans. So why are the housing estates that they've built? Why are those things? These should be beneficiaries of such within a timeline, and government should support them till they can stand up on their feet. If not, we'll find a scenario whereby we have a lot of persons scattered back into the streets, and those kids, the product of such actions, become miscreants, become some of the bad eggs in the society. So it has a lot of implications, that decision that they've taken, and it's left to be seen how well they can mitigate the consequences, mitigate the concerns, mitigate possible evils that could happen with this. The government must really show that they care for their citizens, and I'm looking to see that, and I'm watching and hoping that this government under Governor Sanwo-Olu would pay attention to these areas that I've said. It's not just enough to say we're giving them we've given them a time to move out. The question should be, okay, having done that, what is the next step to make sure that they are okay? Because they are citizens, and government should be concerned.
And of course, people should also be careful when you want to build a house or you want to buy land. Make necessary, inquiries before you do that.
Absolutely, and I think Nigerians are guilty of that. So that's why I can't blame the government.
Look at the law of Lagos. I mean, the demolition of
that's why I can't blame government entirely, especially with this aspect, because I've seen it happen. You see government officials practically put a sign that don't build here. It's not part of the town planning procedure and the likes. And you still see people go ahead ignoring it and building. You see government mark and say, oh, an highway passes through this place. You still see people putting up shops, putting up structures along that line. The truth is, whether it's this current government or another government in 10 years' time or another one in 50 years' time, once they come to the road map, the town plan of how they want to build the city, when they get to that area, they will demolish it. But emotions comes up and everybody say, hey, the government has demolished our property, they have done this. So the advice would be that people should ensure that before they build structures, after purchasing their properties, go through the government agency or the Ministry of Lands and confirm. There's a red copy, there are a lot of documents that will help you know whether the land you even bought in the first place is in the right place, whether a government project would possibly pass through that area. So you will know all of those informations before you should know, and I think that's what I'll put it that way. So every buyer of a land that wants to construct, investors, real estate, must ensure that they find out those information before going ahead to buy.
Definitely. I think it's a fine place to leave it. We'll look out for, how the government will compensate these people.
I hope they do.
All right, let's talk about NDLEA. After the land, I say, the NDLEA rates Lagos nightclub over drug party arrests of 100 suspects, and we've heard names of celebrities in the country. But I believe that it is not possible for them to raid without an information. The report I read said that they were around at about 11 p.m. but then they started the arrest about 3 a.m. because they waited. They made sure that they were relaxed before they started the arrest. Some Nigerians are saying NDLEA is beginning to move like EFCC. What do you make of that?
So, in Nigeria, all security agencies act like they're above the law. So even when they seem to be in situations where they actually have to fulfill their obligations by virtue of the office they hold, because of that sense of lack of rule, of understanding, lack of empathy, lack of wisdom in exercising their roles, they've given room for us to question their integrity when they carry out those needed raids and the likes. Like you rightly mentioned, the EFCC, as there's no one saying the EFCC should not go ahead and arrest individuals. But don't do it like a criminal, don't do it like a thief, don't breach people's human rights. Don't breach the Constitution in trying. You are not above the Constitution, no matter because your power is even derived in the Constitution in the first place. So no matter how grievous the criminal is and the likes, the Constitution gives him or recognizes that he has some certain rights that must not be breached, even though you have to still carry out the functions of your agency. So for NDLEA, based on knowledge about Lagos is one of the thriving hubs for drugs in Nigeria. And the clubs are some of the areas where it has been amplified.
So, like, they were seized actually, hard drugs.
Hard drugs. So you see, is in Lagos, you see a lot of sodomy and the likes. You see people saying they're doing orgy party, they're doing drugs. So Lagos is that base for it. And truthfully, because of the nature of it being a club,
Okay.
I can't fault NDLA operating at that time of the night. So the question will now be, how did they carry out such raid? Were they beating people up when they came in? Did they have a warrant to go into the space to say, oh, we have a warrant, want to search your space? So there are certain procedures I feel they need to follow.
Okay.
And I've not gotten a full grasp of it, but are they right to go in to raid? Absolutely right, by virtue of the obligations that has been put to them by the Constitution or by the law of the land, which empowered the establishment as an entity to eradicate drugs in the society. So if that is only the reason why they went, absolutely right. And truthfully, like some of the pictures I saw, drugs, like you rightly said, were found.
Yes.
So now the question is, how would they even prosecute all of them? Because they said suspects. Because we must also forget that not everyone currently
That's
in the
what I
club
was about to say.
is using drug.
Can we say that those that are not, party to this will come out without any issue?
I think even just a good example with police and EFCC already tells that some innocent persons will be hardened, like they call them Roger. So so that's how will I put it now? One is to also understand their operations, and which has been a bit secluded for a lot of people. So why do I ask that? It's because one of the first things that would help them, if truly they are very professional in their approach, should be that they've been able to have 1 or 2, 3, 4 officers that had been taken into that place undercover to either work as a server or as a stripper or as the MC or the hype man that can help them to say, oh, Mr. A is using this, Mr. B is using this, Mr. B is using this, Mr. D is using, because it's not a crime to go to a clubhouse. It's not a crime to drink alcohol. So the place where the line is being drawn is the peddling of drugs and the like. So how would NDLEA comfortably discern between who uses what and not? So are they going to have to do a drug test as quickly as, is it within the hour you caught them or 30 minutes after you caught them? Because those are some of the ways I feel they can be able to distinguish between who used and who did not use, because finding alcohol in anyone's body, they are not driving on the road, so they are not endangering anyone. They are within the club. So it's left to see, and I hope that...
The drug test.
And I hope that there's a lot of transparency about this particular raid that will help us know the extent of the information that they had that warranted them. I don't think it is a cup of drug that the edge is being peddled there that will make them go in.
Definitely.
So definitely there's probably a large-scale form of drugs operation that...
I read a report that said, some of this drug were actually, found inside, cream bottles.
So
yeah,
I can tell and I can already guess that there's probably much more to the story.
Okay. Let's look out for, how this story will play out. Let's talk about this particular headline that says, "Cross terrorism now, Nigerian stars news service chiefs." But let's talk about the ones that were asked to leave just recently. I read a story that said, these people are to receive bulletproof SUVs, Prado Jeep, and $60,000, and then the cars are to be maintained and then replaced after 4 years. I'm just asking, is this not too much for compensation, or is there more to this whole thing? Please help me make sense of this particular one.
I think it's no longer a secret that we're a very wasteful country.
Okay.
When it comes to the executive arm of government. They've been very wasteful, throwing around resources that could be channeled into development of other areas that are lacking attention. As a service chief head, or as a service chief, you're already made for life by your salary in some ways, by certain remunerations and the like. So you don't need a bulletproof car. Yes, you can be assigned escorts.
They have standard guards, 9 of them.
Which is necessary because of the importance of the role they just held. So the old security secrets, reports and ideas of the state of the nation, so they need to be guarded. They are walking encyclopedia of our security architecture in the country. So yes, they deserve to be taken care of. They deserve to be catered to. But I still feel like $60,000 and the likes, and all of those are things that they can do without, that in their own capacity, they can cater to that as services. And I don't think those before them got any of that. So I feel it's like a payoff to appease some set of persons. And personally, it's all a gameplay towards the coming election.
Okay, should we expect more from these people, the new ones now?
They
Some
will.
have been retained. Should we say that in the next 3 months, maybe security will get better?
It won't get better.
Why?
So, as a government, what is your security policy?
Okay.
So it's the same way we would say, what is the agric policy, economic policy of a government and the likes. That's the same way we are going to look at in the security. As Mr. President come out to even chart a course or have a clear path on how he wants to tackle insecurity, no. So it's basically letting us know that he's clueless about security or the insecurity, and it's like, how will I put it? It's contracting it to the armed guys to get on it and give him a solution. But while doing that, you're also still handicapping them in such a way that I've said it on this show before, that the government prioritizes loyalty to them over the security of the country.
Okay.
And that is what has been playing out over and over. We've seen the issues with the killings in the north, Boko Haram, the genocide claims of Christians in the north, and a lot of other things. And a serious government that has a clear path would have ways that would see that something is decreasing. So what I see here happening is just, maybe their tenure is over by rank and age, and just, go off, you guys have been faithful, you have been loyal, we'll take care of you, have this. Then you bring in a new set to just continue. So I don't see, there's nothing tactical, there's nothing smart about how the last set of guys had operated.
Okay.
So the new guys coming in, I don't expect too much from them, honestly, because, and one of the reasons why I also maintain that is because the chief of defense staff is still retained. And it's still the same person that it's like they call, in the foreign climes, they call such person the joint chiefs.
Okay.
So meaning all Army, Navy is the one that presides over them collectively, interactions with the executive. So I don't see any special innovation policy from the military this time. So God would be the one that will save us.
Never say never. But let's talk about Peter Obi very shortly. There's an headline. Actually, it has caused a lot of controversy. There's a dichotomy really, because some factions are saying it's a good statement. Don't forget that Peter Obi has a strong impression on the youth. He said recently that Yahoo boys are geniuses, and of course they should be redirected. They can function in the tech world, build softwares, and of course improve our lives, other lives. But some Nigerians are saying this is a very wrong statement coming from someone who has a strong impression on the youth, because a lot of persons might see this as an endorsement, or maybe even people who are still doubting whether they should venture into this or not, they might just see this as an endorsement to say, okay, why not? Really, what do you make of it?
I think he's absolutely right. And the problem with this country too is that we like mincing words. We see obvious truths, but we always look for a nice way to couch it, to appeal to emotions and the likes. We don't like people being blunt. So the simple truth is that we just have to give credit to the intellectual capacity of certain persons, but also be conscious of the fact of how they use that intellectual prowess. Okay. So now, I agree with him, because when you look at it, you see a lot of things that these individuals within that space, the boldness, the effrontery, the calculation, the cunningness to outsmart people, and systems that are trusted out there. So I feel if you redirect those individuals to say, okay, you know what, there's so much you can do with this knowledge, with this skill, with your confidence, with your outlook to life.
Is this not risky? Because, I mean, people have made claims to say that, bandits and terrorists, repented ones, they are being integrated into the army, and it's costing us more harm than good. Is this not, should this happen, is this not another problem? Will it not result to another problem for the country?
No. So it's a very simple thing. So in spite of all your wisdom and geniuses as a Yahoo guy, if you are caught, you've contravened the law, you should be punished. So the question is, how do we get, because we must ask ourselves this question: what makes that stuff attractive to young minds? It's because they've seen that, oh, it's possible for me to make quick cash. Or it's possible for me to get a car. It's possible for me to do this, to live the life I desire. So why not redirect such individuals to say, okay, you know what? There's a life better than this. You would get all of these things you want without contravening the law, and you're useful to the society. So it's so easy for us to point fingers and denigrate anyone generally. But if you want to take something away from a child, for instance, and the child is crying, and you try and give him something in return to hold on to. So you don't just say, oh, don't do crime, don't do this, don't do that. Okay. Someone that is struggling to find a basic meal. Not that we're endorsing it, but it's just like I said, we just need to look at issues as they are and ask questions. Like, okay, why is this way? So if we're saying, oh, we've noted that this is the reason why. Okay, we don't want this to happen. So what's the alternative to it? So I feel that's what it's trying to say. But he's a largely misunderstood man lately.
I think he should clarify.
He's a largely misunderstood man lately. And I've also come to understand that because everything is politicized in this time, the simplest of statements can be amplified negatively, wrongly. A statement you made, someone will just cut just a few words out of it and amplify it. So in this TikTok generation and the likes, just little sound bites influences and shapes opinions as quickly as it. But I believe that if people sit down practically and reason along with him, they will see it. But me, I'm still maintaining, if no matter how brilliant you are, if you contravene the law in the area of that finance, you face the law, you should be punished. So we can't say it's an excuse for you to continue doing what you are doing.
A big thanks to you, Temitope Ishola, historian and public affairs analyst. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so
much. We hope that we can do this, some other time.
Absolutely.
Because I need the NDLE, let's put our hands and look out for what is going to happen on the matter.
Let's see.
All right, a big thanks to you for being a part of this segment. We need to take a short break, and when we come back, big story. We come up. I'm Oluwayemi Adelakom saying good morning once again.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Cast. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Live from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching and broadcast.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van. It's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Good morning and welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live, your spotlight segment where we discuss pertinent issues that affect the Nigerian people and take a closer look at the issues that shape Nigeria's present and define our future. Today we revisit one of the country's oldest and most recurring debates, state creation. The topic, new states, same questions. Will a Southeast state fix the divide? From independence through military regimes to democratic transitions, Nigeria's geography has continued to evolve from 3 regions in 1960 to 12 states in 1967, 19 in 1976, 21 in 1987, and 30 in 1991, and most definitely, finally, 36 in 1996. Yet the agitation for more states, particularly from the Southeast, persists. So will another state in the Southeast truly balance the federation? Or are we simply recycling old solutions for new problems? Thank you for joining us on the show this morning. Sam Sibalugu is my name. All right. The history of state creation in Nigeria is a story of promises and paradoxes. Initially designed to bring governance closer to the people and promote unity in diversity. It has also deepened questions about equity, resource control, and political representation. From General Yakubu Gowon's 12-state structure in 1987 aimed at weakening regional dominance, to General Muritala Mohammed's expansion to 19 states in 1976 and the Babangida Abacha reform that brought us to 36 states, the underlying motive has often been to manage tension, not necessarily to cure division. Today, the loudest call comes from the Southeast, the only geopolitical zone with 5 states, compared to 6 in other states and in other regions, and 7 in the Northwest. Proponents argue that fairness demands parity, while critics warn that more states may not guarantee development or unity. So, as the drums of agitation beat again, we ask, is creating a new state the remedy for imbalance, or should Nigeria instead revisit the entire structure of governance and federalism? Now, joining us to unpack this, and of course pertinent questions, is Honorable Mola Jolawi, a seasoned law, APC stalwart, and of course a political analyst with deep insight in Nigeria's constitutional and structural evolution. Good morning to you, Honorable Mola Jolawi.
Good morning to you, Samson. Thanks for having me here today. And the viewer at home, good morning to you. How are you doing?
All right. Looking back at Nigeria's evolution from 2 regions in 1960 to 36 states in 1996, now, what do you think were the most defining motives behind state creation in the country?
Oh, thank you. The motive for state creation started from the fact that we just finished a civil war during the time of General Gowon and the so-called when Ojukwu was absconded. And the British that supported Nigeria have to advise Nigeria that they have to toe the path of creating more state, because when you have more states, it is going to be difficult for people to agitate for the kind of civil war we had. Because, mind you, before United States of America become what it is, there have been so many civil wars because of fragmentation. So a lot of people want their independence. So when they get their independence, it is going to be difficult for coordination for that kind of civil war to happen. That is what brought the so-called 12 states we had during the time of Gowon. So that is the main purpose, because of agitation. Everybody wants to control what they have. Everybody wants independence. Everybody don't want, they want their leaders. They don't want about Central alone, where we are going to talk, we still talk about Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, that probably they are the one that are controlling the Central. So that is what causes state creation in Nigeria.
Now, if you are talking about resource control, and we are talking about the regional system of government, when we had the Southwest, of course, so many regions at the time, we had about 3 regions where everyone controlled what they had at that time, and then we had a weaker power at the center, not like what we have now, where the federal controls almost anything. Now, as it stands, if things continue to go this way, and compared to what we had in the 1960s, what's the difference? Have we really moved forward from what we used to have?
I believe with the agitation we are still having, we have moved forward, because there is no problem with that solution. Come to think about it, you are talking about everybody have been aware of what they have or what they don't have, but the fact still remains that for the fact that what civil wars has caused is like to an ordinary Southeast person. He thinks he's been cheated at the center. He thinks they have been a kind of they have made them to know that they have been cheated in anything. That is why they are always agitating for probably they have been cheated. They are not talking about resource control. They are not talking about the resource they have. They talk about that they want to govern. Whatever, no matter how you look at it, they just want to govern. They don't look at the past. They don't look, for example, when we are talking about when we had unitary system, whereby we have we have Western region, we have Northern region, we have middle belt. They don't talk about that anymore. They talk about the fact that they want to rule. During that time, a lot of power concentrated on Southeast. Do they manage it well? That's the question. Can they be trusted? That's the problem. But now, they still demand for the same thing. And a region cannot do it alone. We need cooperation of other regions, whether you like it or not. It started from 1978, 1979, when we had, during the time of Shigari. So that, for you to know, you need two regions to be able to win the Central. So I think the orientation about that has to change. So now, when you are talking about the state, they have 5 states. State is being justified from Nigerian, what's it called? From Nigerian Constitution. Is it that geographical or population? Are they going to be able to, do they have the population other region has? That's the question we have to talk about. It is not even being justified by resources you have. Is it that probably geographical might or probably the population? So that is what really bring about the state creation. You are talking about even constituency delineation as well. You're talking about the constituency. So it's all about population. When you see Ibadan North, who has been the center of Ibadan. You have Ibadan municipal government before, whereby the power in like Ibadan concentrate on Ibadan North. So that is why it has one consistency. When you are talking about what's it called? As you are talking about the southwest, northwest. Who has another one? I think it's Oliole. Oliole have a very big geographical.
But one federal representative.
One federal representative. Those are the kind of things that justify whether you have the denomination and state creation. Those are the things they have to take in consideration before they can be able to do that.
Okay, very quickly, one of the reasons states are being created in the country is to foster unity and most definitely in that area too, to reduce any form of insurrection just like we had in the time of civil war, and then to deepen what we call dividends of democracy, take it down to the people, and then it makes it easy for the government to penetrate all these communities when we have more states. Now, have we truly been able to make use of that avenue to get across to the people?
It is very hard to be able to assess it through that, because Southwest are always been a kind of region that we always like to do. I mean, we are just Oliver Street asking for more. If anybody is being given something at the central, if he mismanages it, we are going to ask questions. But the North are really, I mean, when you are talking about their system, it is about these Tawakala, I don't know, whereby the riches given to the poor. So anything that's been given at the central is being managed, is being given to their people, because that is what they believe in. That is always their system of governance and their system, traditional system of managing their people. But when you are talking about Southeast, you have seen a lot of federal honorable, you have seen a lot of senators that are being given things, and they sell it at will. So that is why the people in the Southeast doesn't need to be kind of cobweb or probably being deceived. They must ask from their representatives. Niger Delta region was created. What was its impact? Now, because President Ahmed Tinubu want a kind of thing to be spread all across the job. He has created the same thing for all the region as well. That they have to have their development in as much as South can have. Why not Southwest? Why not North Central? Why not? That is when we are going to know. When we have three regions, the development in Southwest is more triple or quadruple more than any other region. You can see the kind of development, because Chivawolo managed the resources they had very well, despite the fact that it's North that has the most powerful agricultural system.
When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu created development commissions for other regions, aside from Niger Delta Development Commission, was that a regional system of government in disguise?
It is not regional system of government. It's just telling us that how we can be able, it is going to be able to expose each region, how they are able to manage what is being given to them. Because something is being given to them from the central. How are they going to manage it? How are they going to spread it geographically? It's going to be able to be seen. So unlike whereby Niger Delta Development Commission has always been a kind of pipe dream, and he has not been able to live up the expectation for what it has been created. So it is going to be able to expose regions that are mismanaging their things.
That particular development commission we were talking about, which is Niger Delta Development Commission, has been riddled with corruption in recent times. There was a time the DG for that commission was brought to the floor of the Senate, and he convulsed. He was rushed to the hospital, and since then nobody has heard anything about corruption in that region. And most definitely, the current Senate president was fingered to be one of those who have gotten contracts from the Development Commission, and nobody has said anything till today. Are you saying that with the recently commissioned new development commissions by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, are we still not going to have the same set of people running the affairs of different regions?
I wouldn't say so, because the beautiful thing is that the media power. I read it sometimes ago, very much years ago, that apart from America, Nigeria has most sound, beautiful media system, whereby even if there are some bad elements among them, not all of them can be corrected at the same time. So you are going to be exposed, whether you like it or not. When you are talking about Akpabio was just alleged that he wanted the woman. It was the woman that alleged that it was Akpabio that said he must doctor some things. He has not been fingered, has been corrupted. The man that was rushed out, I think it has to do with the House of Commotion. When you are talking about our National Assembly, who has been riddled with corruption, they were the one that are dipping the hand on the till of the federal government. A lot of them are indicted. That is why it was them that did the oversight and called the man to ask questions. But when he has fingered a lot of them knew that when the secret is leaked out, they are going to be affected. That is why we didn't see it. We didn't see anything that comes out. It wasn't the EFCC. It was the same National Assembly that did the oversight consultation and called the man to ask questions. And when the man started spilling, that is, we have a National Assembly that is riddled with corruption. They are so neck deep in corruption that when they see that things are affected them, they will not like to talk.
Now, you said we have a National Assembly that is neck deep into corruption, and we have seen situations where the National Assembly has been turned to retirement home for some politicians, especially ex-governors, former ministers. The next thing they do is to get a form to go to the Senate or House of Representatives. Now, if we continue to have such people at the corridor of power, especially on the floor of the House, what's the fate of the common man on the streets and other states, and most definitely these commissions being created by the federal government?
I think that is very common in the north. I think that is very common probably in the south, east, or south-south. But when you are talking about southwest, when you are talking about the southwest, because the southwest know what they want, and they can be able to overwhelmingly reject you if they don't want. The late Ajimobi is one of the best in our state. I respected him. He's my godfather. I love him very much. Still, he was rejected. And there is nothing that comes out of it. And he accepted his fate. He accepted his defeat. That is why you are going to see, when you are talking about, there are some politicians who are sportsmen, and they are going to display it. You are talking about, I will give it to late Ajimobi. So, in Southwest, it is not common. But when you are talking about the North, and you are not going to blame anybody if there are people still choosing them to represent them. That is their own cup of tea, because democracy is by number. When you are talking about, it's about numbers. It's not probably about sentiment. So it might be a retirement home. It is not different from where we copy it from. We are talking about United States of America, who did the same sometimes. Because when you get there, some of them might leave the governorship and go to Senate. And we have seen even a lot of senators become president. For you to know that how their system is well, as of recent, you can see, what's it called? The governor of New York, who is now contesting for mayoral again. If you see that in Nigeria, they will say, are you having a good head or a bad head? Is it regressive or progressive for you to leave being a governor of New York to being a mayor? You see, so politicians are politicians, and there is no retirement age for politics. So if your people loves you, they are still going to be electing you.
Okay, some people have argued that creation of states has become more political than developmental. Is that true?
Yeah, because that is what they plant on people. That is what is on our head all the time. It's happening on your state as well. You are seeing Ibadan it's not agitated for Ibadan state from time, but we always have Okiogun state, Okiogun this, Okiogun that. So, and we are better off if we have about two states. If our state is being created, is being divided into two, because our population is exploding every day. Now, Ibadan is demanding for such. Then you are going to hear when our new Oba, Oba Rashid Adewale was, trying and pleading to the president, if during his own time, he can be able to see Ibadan state. It is normal. We all want more all the time. Because when you are talking about politics and political demand, it's always about Oliver Twist. We want more all the time.
Okay, so the Southeast is the only geopolitical zone with 5 states, 1 less than some states and 2 less than another region. Now, as it stands, Do you think as they are one seat less or two less than some regions, does it affect their representation? And of course, when it comes to allocation, do they get less?
It never reflected, or I mean, it never debar or affected the allocation. It was what the people are doing with the allocation.
They are saying if we have more representatives, we'll definitely get more from the federal government.
They have to give the report of what they have had, what they have done with it. Is there any development project? Is there any development thing in Southeast at the present moment? Well, I've been to Akwa Ibom. When you see when you get to Akwa Ibom, it's like a different place entirely. It was beautiful. It was well designed. Despite the fact that they don't have much population, when you get there, you are going to like it. I've been to Nisha before. It was like a shanty town. But now I don't know. I mean, thank God, late President Muhammadu Buhari has contracted Niger Bill that has never been built, even when they have their own. It gives beauty to a kind of like a place to Onitsha. Onitsha, I believe, is now probably is more developed because I've been there for a very long time. But still, what have they done to reflect on on their state? They must be able to give account. And see a place like Cross River State, you have a good ranch that was initiated and started by Donald Duke. And a lot of people have been going there for holidays. That is how you are going to respect them. You get to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt is beautiful. You are not getting what I'm saying now. But the Southeast have to demand from their representative what they have done to justify what they are handing. So then this is going to start from all these regional development that's been that's been started by President Ahmed Tinubu. We are going to see what they are going to deliver. They must see that. But it is not going to be easy for any democratic leader or democratic president or democratic setup to be able, with what is embedded in the constitution, to be able to create more states.
Beyond numerical equality, is there any other reason why there is a sudden agitation for creation of states in the Southeast?
They just believe it starts from all this ministerial appointment, that they are being cheated out when you are talking about ministerial appointment. And nobody talks about when Jonathan was there. When Jonathan was there, a lot of people favor South and Southeast. And the North, it was only the Southwest that was on the receiving end. We only have probably one substantial, what's it called, Minister of Agriculture, other states, and we don't complain. We don't complain. So now it's always about complaining all the time. So, I mean, even when our son was there, Baba Basajo, a lot of things are favor Ogun State. And we don't complain. Because we knew things is not going to be for life. But I think Southeast is always about agitation all the time. They are always demanding.
When you talk about lopsided appointments, especially from the South, Southeast, now, if we break down the voting pattern in the country, most times the Southeast, they gravitate towards the PDP, and sometimes they gravitate towards APGA in some places, especially when you talk about Abia and some other states. Then we have Labour in, where do we have Labour now? I think that is Abia. Then Anambra, we have APGA. Now, when you look at when they vote for the presidency election, they most times gravitates towards the PDP. And the last 10 years in Nigeria has been the APC. Now, if you look at the number of votes that the current president got from the Southeast, it was so little. Now, is it justifiable to say the president is just saying, look, I did not get so much votes from you, and I'm giving more appointments to people who actually voted for me during the election? Is that right?
I wouldn't say that. It is them that have it on their head, and that is the way it happened. Oyo State has one minister. Ogun State, that Oyo State is more populated more than, has about 2-3 ministers. And nobody complains. When you are talking about Ekiti State, how much is Ekiti State? You are talking about Osun State. We don't have everything about equality all the time. But people just want to be a devil advocate all the time because they want name. We have seen a situation that even one of our own, you are talking about Ndume, criticizing the federal government and President Ahmed Bola Tinubu that he will only favor the Yorubas. When you see somebody like that counting a Kogi State or Kwara State that were predominantly Yoruba, being classed as North, and now is now edging them out not to be part of the North. And by the time they want to hire Northern Military, they want to do anything pertaining to North, they are going to use those Kogi State and Kwara State as a power tool to be able to be dominating other regions. Now, when it's come to appointment, and Yoruba name comes up when it's come to Kogi State or Kwara State, it is about Yoruba. You can see how illogical that can be. So now a Yoruba man can be in Sokoto or any other state. When you see Bola Tinubu, a lot of Igbos have been able to do a lot of spectacular things in Lagos, and he never say because of Lagos State it belongs to Southwest. And it is Yoruba State. He never talks about that. So now, when it's come to name, it is name they are going to be using to differentiate us. They are not going to be using that geographical location to justify. So I would say now, and in the Constitution, it is been embedded that all states must nominate an appointment, and all of them nominated. Once you got, if you are 5 in Southeast and you have 5 appointments, why they complain?
Some call some appointment juicy appointments.
Juicy or no juicy, it is about who you can trust. Who you can trust. During the Jonathan regime, you have finance minister. It's from probably South or Southeast. You have petroleum minister, South to Southeast. You have works. You have all of them. A lot of them, about 5.
Strategic position.
Position. They are from that region. Nobody complained. The only thing we got, it was agriculture minister. Adewumi, what's it called? It was only yes. Others are state ministers. We don't complain. So I think we need to change.
Is it about region? Is it about state, or about putting the right people at the corridor of power in the right positions?
That is going to be difficult when you are talking about politics. Because we have seen it in this state, whereby a lot of people crucify late Ajumabi because
must federal character trump competence?
It can, but they are just trying. It is the way of checking ourselves that we must not derail. And I accepted it. But at the same time, with time, we are going to have the best stand from each region with time, even politically, because a lot of people doesn't want to dabble into politics. They think politics is a dirty game. And I think life itself is a dirty game. Wherever you are, whether you are in an establishment, everybody wants to survive. And when you want to live up, you are going to do any tricky thing that it can be able to make you survive. So I don't think it should be, but that is the way it's being wired right now.
Will creation of more states solve the problem of marginalization?
I think it's a dream for now because we are not prepared. I don't think it has not been done by any civilian administration to be able to create more states because of the cumbersome nature of the thing. But when you are talking about the military, they do it at will. We must manage this one and see what is going to happen in the nearest future and manage what we have. I think manage what we have is what we need. Creating more states can create more problems.
Now, going forward, when it comes to the current setup in the country, and given the challenges we currently face, many existing states face from non-unpaid salaries and the likes. If more states are created, does that mean there will be more funds to go around?
I don't think so, because with what they've been having right now, they don't even know how to manage it. It's been
Is Nigeria in a position to sustain more states?
We can sustain more states. That is not the problem. But the managing of the resources, the one we are they going to create local government as well. You are seeing 8 local government in Bayelsa, having 3 federal reps, having 9 federal reps, having about 3 senators. And how many you are talking about Ekiti State? You see Lagos State. Lagos State is more represented because it has a lot of federal rep. You can see one federal rep coming from, a local government because of the population. That's for you to know that people that write the constitution and embedded such in constitution, they know what they are doing. Bayelsa State, what is the population of Bayelsa State? And it has 9 rep. And that means
3 senators.
3 senators. With Oyo State that has about 32 or 33, 34, and
33 local government.
33 local government. And you are going to see one local government has to go through about very large geographical location, about 10, 11, 10 local government, because before you can be able to get voted for. And you see 8, probably they are going to have about 2 local government. They can be able to sit down there for life. So it is not fair on us as well, but we are managing it and we are not complaining. So I think the Southeast need to manage what they have and to be able to get better result instead of...
Are there other states that should also be agitating for creation of more states as we speak, as if the Southeast can actually request for that?
Yes, like Oyo State. Oyo State is big. We are more than 5-6 million people. So when you are talking about what is the million in the Southeast that are demanding for more state? If it's going to be there, Oyo State should be able to be divided into 3, whether you like it or not. If they can be able to be demanding to have probably about 2 or 3 more, Southwest should be demanding for even about 4 or 5. With the population of Lagos State should be divided into 2.
Do you think failure of
2 or 3, even 3?
The current situation, agitation for more states, is as a result of failure of federalism in the country, or less accountability at subnational level?
I think it's less accountability. It is not the problem of federal. We talk about federal all the time. The states are so irresponsible and they don't want to be responsible. They must be able to give account of what they are having. In the Constitution of Nigeria, it is been embedded that state must give account. They must be giving report. How many of them are giving report in the daily 2-3 daily news right now? When you see a lot of them are cooking fictitious contract and they are giving contract that the people doesn't need. They have hijacked the locals meant to deliver to the people, to be cornered into their own. And they are fighting President Ahmed Bola Tinubu that want to make it to work. We must know what we are demanding for.
Should Nigeria instead be focused on regionalism and
restructuring
instead of state creation?
I think that is gone. When you are talking about regional, you are talking about those people that even practice it, like United States of America and UK. Have a written constitution. The written constitution we have, we are still try as much as possible to use it against ourselves. I think with the state we are ready to go. We are going to have problem, but at the end of the day, we must know the solution. The solution is there. The solution is not about whether you have about 10, 12 ministers in the cabinet. That is what is going to solve the problem. When you are talking about the governors, you have 5 governors, and see what is happening in Niger State. Niger State governor is doing fantastically well. He has bought probably about 2,000 tractors, whereby Oyo State, which is Botswana maize, has not even bought single one. So for you to know how, and he has even promised that he is going to divide not less than 5 billion worth of proceed in agriculture to Lagos State. For you to know, he know what he's doing. So I think we must manage what we have.
What are the political and constitutional process involved in creating new states?
That is the cumbersome part of it. You are talking about 3/3 majority of state of assembly. You are talking about 2-3/3 of all the states. Which state would not want to get its own? That's the problem. All the state of assembly in different states of 35 we have in Nigeria. So how will you tell me that people in Kogi State or in the National State or wherever or Yobe State is going to favor only Southeast when he knew that they need more state as well? Even only Borno, I think Borno as a state has covered geographical location of what's it called, all the Southeast and South. So are they not going to be able to be demanding for about 3 or 4, even if the place is desert? So there's no workability in it. It's just a pipe dream, the way I look at it.
Honorable Mola Jalo, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It has been a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.
All right, and that brings us to the end of the big story today on Daybreak Live. The question remains, is Nigeria's unity better served by new boundaries or by new attitudes towards fairness and inclusion? Whether or not a new Southeast state emerges, one thing is clear, the pursuit of equity must go beyond the map and into mindset of leadership and governance. A big thank you to my guest, Honorable Molaje Olaoye, for sharing his thoughts and perspectives with us on this show this morning. Stay tuned, there is more ahead on Daybreak Live. Samson Balogun is my name.
Need a professional space to bring your vision to life? Dominion Television Studios offers state-of-the-art facilities perfect for your next broadcast, commercial, corporate video, or live event. With flexible rental options, cutting-edge equipment, and a supportive team, we provide the perfect environment for high-quality productions. Unleash your creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast and on X at Dominion Casts. Book your space today. Dominion Television, your channel of choice.
Welcome back from that short break. The show is still Daybreak Live right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Now it's time for Trend Watch, and Yemi Adelako is still here in the studio.
And I'm glad to be back here. Thank you, and well done. So this particular story, I think I saw it just recently, and then I am so I'm not shocked too, because this is not the first time that we see something like this. But then, if you look at the price that they are selling these children, but we have a story that says the Ondo State Police Command, arrested a woman, Ada Clement, for allegedly operating a baby factory in our Odigbo local government area. The command said it also rescued 5 pregnant underage girls and a baby boy. And let me just give you the story. A certain lady, a young lady known as Vivian Peter, she went to a certain station in our division, and then she reported a case that she was trafficked from Akwa Ibom to Ore, and she was promised a job, and that was why she left. And so on getting there, she discovered that this is a baby factory, because they would take care of them, make sure that they are pregnant. My own question now is, maybe they are...
When you said they will take care of them, I was about to ask you how.
Where are they getting the men that will now impregnate them, they will get pregnant and they will take care of them, make sure that they are okay until they give birth. So she now said, because she had to move out of maybe the clinic that they have with the baby factory to go and get maybe medical attention somewhere else. So that was how she escaped. And then she found her way to the Ore division, and then she explained to them that, okay, there's a baby factory, some person, she even mentioned that one of the ladies just gave birth. Honestly, it's sad. This lady that we are talking about is also pregnant, and she's 17-year-old. Because she was looking for a job. That's why I tell people, yes, it's good to look for a job, but be careful. Ensure that, it's safe. Do not travel to any place to go and look for a job if you do not know anyone there, because it's very, very risky. This 17-year-old lady, she also mentioned that about 5 ladies are also pregnant, waiting to give birth. And then the saddest part of this whole thing is that they sell the female children 400,000 and above, and the male children, 600,000 above. See, in UCH, or let me say even some other,
hospitals
out there. For some persons who go through CS, they pay above 500,000, to
as
deliver.
medical bills.
As medical bills. Look at the pain that
and that's just a one-off payment. There are also other payments.
Other payments that you go through. So selling babies for 400,000 naira, 600,000 naira, and making all those young ladies to give birth at such a young age is a very sad thing. Honestly, I don't know how to wrap my head around this.
Actually, it's really disheartening that this is coming back. There used to be a time when this was actually something that was very common in the southeastern part of the country, and the fact that it has gotten so big that we now have rings in the southwest shows how that industry, let me put it that way, how that industry has expanded in recent years, and that's really sad. And you see, one thing I have always said is people who are actually living in some communities, they live the I don't care kind of lifestyle. They spot things that really should be reported, and then they feel like, well, I don't really care. As long as it does not affect me, it does not affect a family member, I don't think I have a problem with that. Because I do not know how 5, 6, 7 girls can live in a particular house. They are all pregnant at the same time, they are underage, and nobody spots what is going on in there. I mean, that's totally, that's something that I don't think it's a mirage. It's something that people should have noticed. That is one. 2, I think the police they are now up and doing. They are doing their job, and at least they got an info, and then they tried to nip it in the bud. They got some people arrested. But the fact still remains that, how do we track how many children these people have given birth to? That is one. 2, they are even underaged. I mean, there's no even if they are overaged or they are, they are matured enough. There is no justification for anything. I mean, this is what we call, if you call this an abuse, it's an understatement.
It's human trafficking.
It's human trafficking. It has gotten beyond where it can just be swept under the carpet. Now, the challenge we have on our hand is that most of these people who are actually into this bad habit, and of course who control these rings, they will blame it on the current condition of the country. Oh, the economy is bad. But does that mean you should subject a fellow human being that is going through hard times in the country to this kind of situation?
I mean,
that's totally bad.
If they even agree to this, that's a different case. But I'm very sure most of those persons,
see, even if an underage can agree to this, you should be held responsible for anything.
Not up to 18. A 17-year-old girl.
Or not up to age of consent, meaning that whatever it is you have done, whatever transaction you have had with this kind of girls at this age, means that they are null and void.
And I'm very sure that there are girls who are younger than her that have given birth, and at the end of the day, you give birth. After the pain, they collect the baby from you and they set the baby off.
I think my own take
is about the mental health of girls like
these
that.
Girls should be rehabilitated.
Honestly.
That is one. 2, whoever has been fingered or pointed at that is involved in this should be arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law.
Definitely.
And whoever has actually gone there to buy a baby, I mean, a whole child for 600,000 naira deserves to be behind bars.
They should actually arrest all of, and even the men that are even,
those ones is another case entirely.
Honestly.
Because having an affair or having carnal knowledge of an underage girl is another sin, a crime entirely against it. But let's take the comments.
Let's take the comments, honestly. Enugu for movement is saying, very easy business when children don't even know their parent. Running baby factory is a lucrative business. There's nothing lucrative about this. It's very
really,
sad.
I mean, that comment alone,
Honestly.
can actually spark a kind of unrest
Honestly.
somewhere. I mean, that's totally unacceptable.
How did we get here? Divine is saying, oh, baby factory don't enter Yoruba land. Let me bookmark this. It's sad though. And I don't think this is even the first time
I mentioned that it was rampant in the southeast, south at a point, but the fact that we are now having this in the southeast shows how the industry has expanded, how that ring has expanded, how desperate people are when it comes to the issue of money. I mean, 400,000, 600,000 for a child that was carried for, how much would the carrier now get?
They're even discriminating. Female, 400 and above. Male,
that's the problem I have. Now,
how did we get here?
If you get 600,000 naira for a child, how much would the carrier get? How much would I'm
not sure these ladies will be paid, but they will just take care of them to make sure that they can get pregnant again.
And just give birth.
So
that's
give birth
all
and they can sell them off again.
Well, Razak Kolade just says, once I saw that you didn't mention the name, I knew something was fishy.
And Shem Victor is saying the Brits did a lot of damage by joining us together. I don't even buy into this comment. It's not about the colonial
It's not about region
it's about us.
Or where you are from. It's
about
the
us, honestly. It's about the things that we do.
Well, this would be the convenient point to leave it on the show this morning. I mean, Well, we ended the show on the note where everyone really has to think twice about what they see and when to blow the whistle when they say things. So if you see something in your community, please say something.
Please
Sometimes you see buildings being locked and one person or two people just come in and out intermittently without, you can't really say who's staying in this building.
That is what they don't do abroad. Once they notice something, honestly, they
call
report
the police.
immediately.
Report immediately.
As a black person, if you visit some street in the UK and you're not careful, you'll be shocked that someone will just call and they'll pick you up because they assume you are
don't know
walking
you in that
anyhow.
community.
They don't know you.
In that county, nobody knows you. So what are you doing in the community?
We don't do that here.
Well, we simply have to go this morning. So thank you for joining us on the show. Well, this is the first edition of the week, and I do hope and of course I do believe that you enjoyed this particular one. Until tomorrow, that we shall be meeting, same station, same program, and most definitely same host. Samson Balogun is my name. Keep being good out there. Keep being safe. Most definitely, when you say something, say something. Bye for now.
All right, same face. Let me heart to that. Thank you for being a part of the show. Do well to join us tomorrow. My name is Oluwayemi Adelakun. Before I go, please, there are still legal means to make it in this country. Let's ensure to do the right thing at all times. Bye for now.